This is the Elite House 777. This is Dr. Eros Trimigistus. Now, let's be clear about something. This dialogue is about wondeeR woman and a way that she's been turned to a propaganda towards a movement of the code of Aries, backward cosmo, the Saturn to make anarchy, also upheaval, wickedness. Now, keep in mind that wondeeR woman, the character herself, existed long prior to the feminist movement. Now, the true feminist movement was about the rights of maidens, getting equal treatment and honored and not being dishonored or abused. But somewhere around 2097 AD, it got infiltrated by those who do witchcraft. See, Wicca is another way of saying wicked. Now, I'm sure that there's many fays, maidens who sought to a higher soulful path, but got deceived. But there is no soulful path that honors Mephistopheles, Faunus Pan, who had violated. The only Olympian / to truly violate someone was Mephistopheles, Faunus Pan, and his satires. Penelope, Sita, Rama's breed was who you know him as Ulysses, Odysseus. That's the breed that Mephistopheles Pan had violated. The house of Apollo, with those who bear the crucifix, had used the word rape to whenever an Olympian was involved about their sexual encounters to discredit them so the house of Apollo could look more majestic. And those who believe in divinities regardless of their skin, nobody's never fixed this problem and they're aware of it. But use your own brains. If you got good sense, use your own brains and just see what way would the Olympians violate someone when they were more beautiful, potent, handsome. And I'm certain that people would not be naming space shuttles, cities, and set their business after and claim to be descendant of these divines, of these Olympians, if they were rapists. The raping was done by actually those who bear the crucifix with their missionaries in the Crusades. Go look this up. And the Romans, who violated the one of Nazareth, son of Miriam and Joseph, who Joseph raised. But this subject at hand is, this group has been infiltrated by those who actually want to turn maidens into races of liker men. This is not what the wondeeR woman was about. So let's take a look at, this is what happens when you let a racist or somebody wicked into something good and wonderful, when the people get lazy. The wondeeR woman. Here, somebody wrote this. Beautiful has Aphrodite. Wise has Athena. But swifter than Hermes. And stronger than Krishna, Raphael. Princess Themyscira bows towards peace in a man's world. But you see this, this is on Google. This is DC's new page. It's the publisher who's trying to score points but has no honor towards the makers of these characters. A dishonor towards all those comic book fans. He got to start with Rob of the House of Leafield. So allowing this to happen is wrong. This is also moving to take down most likely are not patriotic, but United States as well. It's not just a means to generate spending units. This is someone with no soul. So beautiful as Aphrodite, wise as Athena, but swift is then the guy, and stronger than Krishna. This is what they're going to go with. But so saying that she's greater than a man or a guy, not equal no more. And this is not even a woman who wrote this. This is a man, a male, Mala means wickedness, by the way. So let's see. Now, to sweeten the deal, I'm going to go show you some data. And if it doesn't add up, if this, what I'm reading right here, is not changed, then no soul will enter heaven until the truth is written and Hermes is honored. Until this is put to a stop. It says here, she's speed is about 3,806 to 7,686 miles per hour. Hypersonic, which is above the speed of sound. Says here that Hermes truly holds the potential of limitless speed, making one of the fastest beings in the Marvel cosmos. At 0.22 to 1.0 mils per second. He's traveled millions of light solstice, which is way superior speed than the one of Themyscira, this wondeeR. Also says here that he could soar 80% to 99.65% leap speed. Hmm, 99.65%, 150,000 to 183,620 mils per second. This is way faster than she. Let's see, Krishna. Savior of the gods and man king. In that realm, Krishna is stronger than this wondeeR. Says here that he's way meatier than she. Now, while these new generation of races and supremacist groups are trying to keep putting champions against champions, which did not exist, this is also the reason that mortals will not be allowed in heaven. Because they'll bring their racisms, their pettiness, their stupidity in with them. Their neighborhood, who's better than whose grudges, which Olympian is greater than that Olympian, which God is more greater than that God. They'll cause a racism and segregation just like they did in the mortal plane. And this is the reason that men would never be gods and never be allowed in the heavens until, at least as long as there's a clock still ticking. They are offending many gods with their arrogance, upheaval, battle mongering, pitting champions against champions. That's the way of wickedness, not the way of good. It's been bad enough. It's wrong enough that they did it to Kala and Bruce, which turned into a race issue. That's not the way champions do it. And that's not, until these kind of people are weeded out, those who keep trying to put a race against a race, a god against a god, the labors of Ares backward cosmos of Saturn, of wickedness. No man, no mortal, no fae will go to heaven. Somebody must have heard me. They're trying to change, but this is not enough. Say that he's equal to, so on the same level as the power princess. They read a little deeper. These supremacist groups would have been finding out that it was actually Hermes Thoth who gave Wonder Woman she's speed by lending she his sandals and shoes and gauntlets. These sandals was left to us by the Lord Hermes himself, that would enable she to soar against evil. So clearly, this women's trying to act like malice, a pissing contest of who's great and who. It's clearly Hermes. These people need to read up. He was the one who even resurrected the souls of the Amazons. It was Hermes who resurrected the souls of the Amazons. These people are trying to change the story to fit their narrative, which didn't happen since the 40s. The WW2 battles with the Axis, where they had Kal-El and Bruce Wayne battling against Nazis and saying racial stuff against the Indonesian people, against Japanesans. You think that the publisher of DC Comics, Jim Lee, would be aware of that, but selling out a whole race, a whole group of men is horrible enough, but you're bringing gods into this now, just so he can make spinning units. A great wondeeR, she is, but she's great because she's blessed by the gods, not because of her own self. Unlike the movie with Gal Gadot and directed by this movement of Warner Brothers. Behold, the sandals of the god Hermes, disenchanted, gets where event speed. She gets her speed of him, so she can't be superior to him. And just because they're guys and have a phallus doesn't mean that they're evil or wicked. That's mortal racism. That's United States crap. And that doesn't fly for the rest of the planet. Towards Wonder Woman was even created by a man, not a fae. Instead of trying to act like some racist supremacist groups, won't those kind of people be not lazy and just make up their own character, not trying to usurp like some certain races do on this planet. Keep that stuff with mortals. Do not bring that pagans to gods, or there'll be a price to pay. 21 twilights of this gets enacted until this honor is given. It says here that Hermes went to the cavern of the souls, where Gaia housed the souls of fays who had been unjustly killed by men. Harvest the souls to reincarnate them into who will become the Amazons, a ensaRe, or these maidens. They honor Hermes. So this monstrosity can only be done by those who don't read the comic books, those who try and bring in problems that did not exist previously. Behold, the gods are upset. Also, if you look at this picture of these three Amazons, you'll notice that it says here they're ebon figures, 500 BC, and you can notice that somebody chipped away at the skin color but forgot the arm to turn them to look snow-hued. Now, this is also known around the planet, but in the United States, they embrace this. This racism of skin to skin started with United States brown skin, Nubian United Stations, and pink skin mortals of the United States. They should have left the gods and the divines out of this. They turned them snow-hued by chipping away at the ebon skin. And this drawing of she she's supposed to be more voluptuous than what this 130-pound maiden in the movie. Should have been closer to 190 to 220 pounds with a bigger ass, more voluptuous, because the skinny maiden can't go toe-to-toe with that kind of stuff. So let's check it out. Just because of pretty face and skinny body, that's not in keeping with the story. So let's see what they did to Hippolyta. She's supposed to have Eb on main because she made in her image. She was made in her image, right? So she's supposed to look like that. Eb on main. So what reason did she end up looking yellow mane? So this is not supremacy. This is not another line. In the comics, she's supposed to have been biracial. So let's see, did that make it to the movie? And remember, Steppenwolf in the movie said she had the blood of the old gods in her, of the divines in her. But in the movie, they said that she was made out of clay. They took away all types of the masculines, just like they did with the one of Nazareth. The Romans did with the one of Nazareth and Buddha, to make it into their own image by changing the whole history, by doing whatever she fought towards, equality, not towards a superior group than the other. This is she with Zeus, Hippolyta. Of course, this doesn't come out in the movie, right? If anything, she probably would. She's biracial, but she even goes with a brown-skinned guy. But they made sure that didn't come out at all. That's the Snyder and the producer and the Patsy Jenkins and that company promoting the same racism that was promoted on Smallville, where they get that slave-looking Samuel. Poison of God, by the way, is what Sam means. Pete Ross is supposed to go with Lana Lang, but because he was a brown-skinned guy, instead of the yellow mane, snow-hued skin in the comic, that didn't happen on the TV show. He didn't even get to go with Chloe. They had a kiss and it never got talked about ever after. Power Prince is supposed to have a brown-skinned guy. Is anybody talking about that? A long-haired brown-skinned guy. But so I guess this is what they're talking about, making stuff. This is United States racism towards you. The geeks on Google managed to put this up again. They make sure that they say that she's not with a brown-skinned person. They did this with the Heimdall too. Somebody is writing stuff literally on Google, so when somebody looks it up, they won't find it. It's one of the descendants of these racist supremacist people, and nobody's saying this stuff about it. There's no actors getting behind it. There's no producers getting behind it. Nobody's addressing this problem. So whoever's trying to genuinely look up this data, I'm assuming it's a young person, they're going to end up becoming a racist because some geek, some descendant of one of these supremacist groups hacks the system and put this data in there and leave only what they would like it to be. Just like that Sophia robot made by that geek, and she has snow-hued skin with his ideas, not no talking robot. He implanted that inside of she. You have to have faith that he's not a twisted-minded individual. Chaz, if you type in Zeus, the black Zeus in the DC Comics, you only see this at surface. Unless you have abilities, magics, such as this. Override protocols, GGGC. Activate. There's Zeus right there. A brown-skinned individual, as you can see, it says Zeus grants Freddie Freeman the powers of Shazam. What skin tone is that? That's Zeus here, and that's the Power Princess father. So she'll be biracial. But did this come out in the movie? No. Somebody's literally trying to cause a race situation. And here he is with Krishna, Achilles, and some other ones. And that's Zeus. Somebody made sure that they put monkey right there too. But is Google stopping any of this? No. Is any of those actors like Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, is DC is Davy, Dwayne Johnson, Will Smith? Is anybody stopping any of this? But they're supposed to be about racial harmony. But for this next generation, they're going to promote more racism by these lies. This is Zeus in the comic books of the DC. But this is not being addressed. She should have been biracial in the movie, but nobody brought that up. And if they compromise, if they has an insult, if they make somebody biracial or give a honor towards, say, a brown skin, a gold being, they will then add a like or a man quality involved. That it can't be a straight up just a pure honor. They have to become bisexual or downplay their sexuality. It can't be just a good looking, handsome, not a slave looking, but a good looking, handsome brown skin or mahogany skin being with a good looking maiden. But this is Zeus in the comic, and that's the Power Princess father. And you guys, even the ones on YouTube who have these comic book stations like Fernando Comics and the ones who do those Versus series and all those comic book stuff, they ignore this. So they're helping the problem too. Stand with the truth. Stand with the lead. 777. And this is in keeping with the legend of the Zeus, since it said that he had brown skin. But this is not what you're going to see. You're going to see a Liam Neeson, or you're going to see a Russell Crowe, or you're going to see Anthony of the House of Quinn. Or you're going to keep seeing pink-skinned mortals play someone described as tawny. But you go on Reddit, they're going quick to say racial stuff and just shoot down any stuff that someone says with their comments. Like, no, they can't be this and cannot be that. This is wrong, but this is not wrong. It's just that a lot of brown-skinned mortals, Hyperborea, and people in the United States don't really read the comics. They're just following the actors. And they're participating in a contamination of their future generations. This is the way history changes, because these movies are the new history books. Make no mistake about that.